All right, I call this meeting to order. Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mrs. Ansell is absent. Mr. Gamlin?
Here.
Mr. Gibson?
Here.
Mrs. Shutt? Here. Mrs. Persaud?
Here. If you stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. There's copies of the minutes up here, or agenda, I mean. And copy of minutes. Well, first order of business goes to superintendent's report. Mr. Calderon.
Okay. Let's jump right into finance. We ended the fiscal year with a surplus of roughly about $216,000 in the black compared to, the treasurer's revised estimate from, what was that, February?
Yeah.
So, generally, that's a pretty solid forecast when you're within, $100,000 or $200,000 in either direction, actually. But we were discussing today, one of the things that really drove some of our costs this year was special ed. And just, the special ed transportation was up over $100,000. We continued to transport a high number of special ed students out of the district, and some of them are even transported within district when we can't transport them on our own. So the good news is that I guess if there's a silver lining, is that when you have higher levels of special ed transportation, you also get, it's not proportional, but you also get a slightly higher level of reimbursements from the state. So our reimbursements this year were up $92,000. Next year, at this level, I would expect them to be at least that, if not a little bit higher, because of how much more we spent this year. So that's always an issue. Again, I don't think a lot of people realize the cost of educating students on IEPs, but it is significant when we have to ship them or transport them, I should say, is more appropriate, to units that are not located within our district. That's also one of the reasons why we try to have that continuum of units within our district from kindergarten through the high school, so that if a kid is fortunate enough to get placed at LaBrae as a LaBrae student, they can, in many cases, spend their entire educational career at LaBrae, even if it's in one of those ESC units. Having said that, one of the things that we are working, it will happen, is we've agreed to host an additional unit at Bascom, and it's going to be an emotionally disturbed unit that will be in the K-2 building. Mrs. Kowach and Mrs. Frederick and I have been working on that since the winter, because we needed to have some placements for some of our own students that there just aren't room. So we kind of asked the ESC, look, if you can help us with some placements and you've got no room, we'll take on an additional unit to create more space for students, but we've got to be able to serve these LaBrae students. So we're excited about that opportunity to have an ED classroom, and it'll be in the second grade hall across from the MD classroom that's been there for decades at LaBrae. So all in all, a pretty good forecast. We're in the black, but at the same token, purchase services, that number's up because we're purchasing more service from Community Bus, and that's not unexpected. But at any time, that could change too. So Mr. Panic is working on the 5-year forecast. It has to be submitted at the end of August, so we anticipate bringing that to you in August for approval, and I'll let him speak to maybe some of the challenges that we may face with that forecast, because this is a different date this year.
Yes, this is the first time we're going to submit in August, and there's kind of two things that make that hard so we haven't received that we usually do when we do it in October or November, and that's our tax settlements for revenue. So I'll be that'll be more of an estimate instead of a known thing, because we get the settlements in September. And then starting out the new salaries for teachers in September. So I'll do the best I can, but there might be a big difference between the August forecast and next and the February forecast. But I'll keep you guys updated monthly too.
Now, some of the things that could be impacting that forecast is the House Bill 186 changes. We are a district that's on the 20 mil floor. That's only been recently accomplished within the last, I think, 3 years. And so what that means is that when you hear some of our local representatives talk about unvoted millage, that means that the state of Ohio does not let a school district go below 20 mils. That's the 20 mil floor. Once they roll back your effective millage to the point where your property values keep going up, and remember, House Bill 920 from 50 years ago rolls that millage back. The floor is 20 mils. Once you reach 20 mils, there's no reducing it any further per state law. And so anytime property values go up and you're at 20 mils, there's an automatic adjustment to everyone's property taxes. About 17 school districts in the county are on the 20 mil floor, and a few hundred across the state.
Oh, more than.
And that's one of the issues that the property tax reform tries to address. Now, how that impacts our 5-year forecast is they went back and capped that rate of property growth from 2023 and made it effective in 2025 and told property owners credits are coming in the second half of your 2026 payments. Now in 2026, I know this is confusing, but we're paying for last year. You're assessed in 1 year, you're paying it the next year. So what we were assessed in 2025, we are collecting this year. Credits are going to be coming in August on those bills. Now anybody that owns property knows you haven't gotten your tax bill yet because they are late getting them out. Many counties across the state have them out already, and because I see them on social media post what some of these people who want to abolish property taxes are saying about getting their bills and how much money they're seeing. So that's going to impact the 5-year forecast because we have to see how those credits come in. The first year, we should be okay because the state has said we're going to backfill what school districts lose. We want to make sure schools are held harmless in year 1. I think the easiest way to explain this is, hey, you're expecting this. The credits are going to make you bring in less money. We're going to cover that gap. In year 2, we're not going to cover that gap because we're expecting property values to go up, and that will close the gap. But when those property values go up, unlike 2023, they will be capped at the rate of inflation, where in 2023 property values were up 30, 33%, some parts of the county 35% or more. So that's about the simplest way I can explain it. These credits are coming, the state's going to backfill them. Next year there is no backfill. They're expecting that districts might not need it, and that's going to create a problem for Mr. Panic as he tries to give that estimate to file in August because we won't have received all of our tax money. That usually happens in early September.
It should happen.
Yeah, typically. This year it won't because tax bills, the payment due date is getting pushed back, I believe, till the end of August. So we're going to keep our eye on that, but it does create more guesswork, if you will, in the 5-year forecast than we would like. So we'll see how that plays out. In the area of facilities, just know that we're going to have to do that. We got band night on the 10th. We got to think about our band night and our board meeting. Because if we want to do, it makes sense to do a ribbon cutting ceremony prior to, but I don't know if you guys want to really bump up the board meeting to earlier so that we can get out there for like a 5 o'clock ceremony with some seniors and board members, the band directors, or if you want to move the meeting to Tuesday, we can consider something like that and do it on a different day so that we're free on band night and can do a ribbon cutting ceremony then. Or we can stay business as usual and do a ribbon cutting ceremony during the day while the band camp kids might be here doing a final rehearsal. You guys need to let me know what you want to do, and we can maybe have some discussion about that when we talk about concerns of the board. The event entrance construction work for phase 1 is Mr. Yoho explained to me that he should be starting possibly Monday. So I phoned him today because he'd emailed me, wasn't sure if it was going to be Friday, likely Monday, but I know you had requested Mr. Shutt to kind of have an idea on that date. So I'm going to we're playing phone tag, and I'll try to reconnect with him tomorrow. And once I have a definitive date, we can, I'll make sure that you're aware of that.
And can I ask you a couple questions about that?
Sure.
So when we originally were talking about all of our ideas,
Yeah.
we talked about ripping out those shrubs on either side of the main entry there
Yeah.
and doing some sort of hardscape. But that's not part of this. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
So yes,
We're ripping out all the gravel off to the side, all the brick that is heaved and moved is coming out. We're going to grade it. We're going to clean that edge of the grass up so that it's straight. Once that cement framework is framed, we're going to extend that sidewalk with terracotta colored cement or concrete. And that will be the hardscape of extending. So it'll go currently to the north about the width of what the gravel is, and we'll have recycled, the goal would be to have recycled benches there as opposed to something moored and permanent. And then on the other side, that concrete will go to the back of the light poles because those are cement buttons. So that, to give you an idea on the width. And then up against that cement is going to be grass. So we're not maintaining beds.
So what I'm saying is the part about the patios, if you will, that we discussed, the sitting areas.
Yes.
That's not
Phase two. That's a later.
So my only question with that is, what I would suggest is that now, when we're doing all this tear out and removal of materials, that we remove the shrubs and the grasses and get rid of the stuff that we don't want, because it will, the more activity you have to do in order to do that, the more risk you're going to take of messing up the fine work that we're paying to have done, the finishing work. So in other words, get rid of everything you don't want now is what I would suggest.
Okay.
I mean, and that's what,
I know he plans on taking out a couple, because when he blends that to that apron that expands in front of the event entrance, we have to account for that. And we did talk about removing a few of them, not necessarily all of them, but that's something that our people can do once he removes and cleans it out what he needs to clean out.
The other thing is that, when you're doing new stamp-dyed concrete, you're going to put a foundation of 57s in there. That's limestone grit.
Yes.
Well, that's also the base for any hardscape you would do for patio spaces. And, I just think it makes sense to think about doing the rough end of those patio spaces at the same time when the machine's here and the materials are coming in. I mean, that's how I would run it as a landscape designer. I would do that now and make sure that the grading is right and the drainage is connected to the other stuff. It doesn't mean you have to do finished concrete.
And then
or
what
any other
lays
kind of
there
stone.
aesthetically? Just bare gravel?
You'd have the shapes of the patio spaces and the shapes of the beds that are going to go in front of the patios, where eventually there'll be shrubs, like the new shrubs at our signage areas, dwarf shrubs. So you would see, in effect, you would see the shapes and forms of things to come. And those areas that could be, the beds could be mulched or could be left, plain. It just, that it's just the way I always think about things is that you want to, in other words, when you buy a new house, you don't want to put in new carpeting before you paint the walls.
Right.
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I hear exactly what you're saying. I guess I will tell you as an individual, I like boundaries and things, and this is probably more of a personality style. When I hear you talk and you're creative in that way, I worry about how that then lays open and what that looks like from a standpoint of, sitting a year. When we aren't quite sure exactly what that looks like yet. Is there a knee wall there? What do the beds look like? I don't know that we have, made decisions with regards to that, so we probably have to have some further conversation on that.
I think it would be interesting when Mr. Yoho was here that's one of the things I want to discuss. I'm like, you're here, let's talk about this and see what he would have to say, because we don't have an estimate for that, is that right?
No, we have nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be additional costs, and we would have to just, examine and see how that
Uh-huh.
plays out. But I think we probably, what I want to be comfortable with is, what's that look like? Because I don't know what the footprint looks like. What's our plan?
Uh-huh.
And having him do the work without knowing what our plan is. I got an idea what our plan is.
Right.
We talked about patios, but we don't necessarily have an idea as no pun intended, but as concrete as what we've mapped out for phase 1. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I think we should talk
All right.
more this week.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Thank
All
you.
right. Yep. Anybody else questions? No? So one of the things in the area, students, I just want to make you aware of that Mrs. Kowach is coordinating. She reached out, I think it was last week, via email to our staff. Grace Church, who was here, rented from us for 18 months or so. They've reached out to her. She's a congregant there, and they are trying to do a new program here in Ohio that they're modeling after a program in their native state of Georgia. It's called Starting with Style. And so they are trying to find, roughly 20 to 30 young ladies in middle school age, intermediate, like 5th through 7th grade. And basically what they want to do is take them out to go school shopping in August. And so they would be partnered up with a volunteer from the church, or I know Mrs. Frederick and Mrs. Kowach are going to volunteer, and they've sought volunteers of our own staff to actually drive them to the event, because we're not going to use a school bus to do that. That was one of the things that their pastor had inquired about. And despite the beneficial result for some of our students, it's not all of our students, and I'm just don't want to, cross a line with regards to committing tax dollars in form of transportation. So I asked Mrs. Kowach to solicit volunteers, and she's told me that's gone well. So in essence, they will spend the day, go shopping with a partner volunteer, they'll go back to the church, they'll do a project runway kind of, what would you call it?
Show.
Yeah, show, lunch, they've got a whole day planned. And I talked to Mrs. Kowach today, and she said it's going well. They've got a number of students, and she made all the calls to the parents that she had at that point last week, and a lot of parents are committed and willing to let their kids do it. So, I think it's $250 per kid. So if you do the math, 20 to 30 kids, we've got some families that are in need. That's $4,000 to $6,000 that'll be spent on LaBrae students. So we appreciate that generosity and the work of our staff that are willing to commit to helping out when it comes to benefiting our students in that regard this summer. Okay, what we want to do at this point is turn it over. I'll introduce some people. We have some distinguished guests that are no longer employees here that we want to make sure that we honor. Because anytime someone spends a career at LaBrae, we want to make sure we say goodbye the right way. And while generally, the staff and their friends have had that opportunity to do that, we want to make sure that on behalf of the district as representative of our community, that we give proper thanks to the people that have given us years of quality service. So the first person that we want to honor, and then we'll have them come up, and then we'll get a group photo with the board members. We'll probably move that flag and kind of do it over there in that corner. But our first individual is no stranger to our community, as she's a graduate of LaBrae High School. She's completing her 29th year of service to LaBrae this year as the middle school secretary. She started off, I believe, in the treasurer's office, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but has done a myriad of jobs moving on from the treasurer's office to our buildings. I know when I first came to LaBrae, she was the Bascom Elementary secretary, also was a cheer coach, I believe, at the time. And then when Mrs. Fortney, you guys remember her, retired from the middle school, then she became our middle school secretary. So always great to have a Viking give us decades of service in this regard. We want to congratulate Debbie Borowink on a job well done and a great year of service. Come up, Debbie. You guys can all get up. Yeah. Get up too. I'll squeeze you guys in there for on up in there. You guys folks can turn a little bit.
Thank you. Very good. Thank you.
Did you want to say anything?
Oh gosh, I know. Just thank you, everyone. It's just been, it really has been enjoyable. You know, there's days, but all in all, it's just a lot of good memories, friendships, loved all the students.
Thank you.
The next chapter is filled with a
Yes.
lot of joy.
It is, it is. Sure. Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
I guess we're disgusting.
Yep. So our next individual is also a LaBrae alumni, and I believe prior to coming to LaBrae, she's completing her 32nd year of service to LaBrae. Started off when she first came to LaBrae from Warren City Schools as a special ed teacher. I believe it was at the high school, correct?
No, I didn't teach at Warren City. I did some summer programs.
Okay.
there.
Well, I saw it on your resume, so we're going to give you some credit for working at Warren City because I'm sure it's counting towards the pension, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a summer program.
Yeah, so she came to the high school, was a special ed teacher at the high school. I'm not sure in between where she ended up, but since I've been at LaBrae, Mrs. Wolke has been at LaBrae Middle School in the 8th grade level, and even her youngest child came to school at LaBrae and was a graduate of ours as well. And the great thing for them is her and her husband are retiring the same year. He's a retiree from Southington, so we want to congratulate Mel Wolke for 32 years of service to LaBrae. Congratulations.
Tim, how are you? How's your wife? James. Tom. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. So, well, that was- It's just been a pleasure and an honor to grow up here and work here. And, just completely wonderful, really. Great career. I suggest it to everybody. And also thank all of you. I served on a board for 4 years, and I know it's a lot of time and energy, and you guys have done such a great job. I appreciate all of you. You too, Brad. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, select job.
And those retirees that were not able to be here tonight, we'll try to get them to our August meeting and make sure we honor them appropriately. I would also say that, one of the special things that we have is, we have that phrase, and a lot of school districts use it, once a something, always a something, right? Well, we've always said once a Viking, always a Viking, and I think, that there is something special about coming back, as Melanie said, and being raised here. Debbie, the same thing, community member, grow up, come back to work for the district. Back when we did our Viking Day in November, there was a point where we had all the teachers line up across the gym floor that were LaBrae graduates. And I remember thinking, well, that's going to be a pretty good number. I thought it would be around 10, 11, 12. total teachers. I think that ended up being like 22. So we were able to cross from one sideline to the other with staff members that were, LaBrae graduates that were now employed by the district. And when you serve our students, I just think that when we're able to bring back great people to work for us who graduated from here, there's an extra connection understanding this community and the kids that we have. So I know they're strong advocates for the work they do and for kids in general. We appreciate your service, so thanks again for being here. You guys have done a great job, and congratulations and enjoy your retirement. One final round of applause. Okay, that's all I got. If you got questions or comments,
Any questions for the superintendent? All right, we move to concerns of the board. Julie, I'll start with you.
I just kind of went over my thoughts with the landscape design. That was it. So
Okay.
thank you.
Good. Bradley?
For the ribbon cutting ceremony,
yes.
I'm flexible with if you want to have the board meeting on a Tuesday and just focus solely on if the board wants to just focus solely on doing the ribbon cutting Monday, right before the band show, I'm good with that.
What do you guys think?
Well, I was just going to make a suggestion that, check your calendars and then either email me or AJ or both of us, and we'll get a consensus, because I'll tell Karen, and we'll see what works out the best for everybody. We want to take anything away from either group. We have our meeting, we have to do our business. We also want to recognize the band. Don't want to interfere with their show. That's a big thing for them.
What are the proposed date ideas?
Well, it is August 10th. That's the actual date of the band night.
That's the band night. So we could do it then, or we could do it a different day. Those are the two you really need to think about.
If you do it then, would you change the time though?
That's the other thing. We might want to change the time, have it earlier.
Because if you're going to cut the ribbon at 5, you probably need to have the meeting at 4.
I could you do that? Meeting at
5 would probably be,
times?
yeah,
For a meeting.
yeah.
Um,
Maybe even 4:30, but
I think we could probably do 4:30. I think if we were out there for a ribbon cutting ceremony at 5:30 to 6, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
Because I don't think band night starts until 7.
It's either 7 or 7:30.
Yeah. And then by the time, our band plays, we're going to be the last band. A lot of times we're not playing until like 9 o'clock at night. So I can check with Mrs. Ott and see what that itinerary looks like. But I think that might, if you want to go earlier, we probably could go 4:30, be out of here by 5:30, hustle out, and at the very latest, quick, she could be ready with students.
Yeah, recheck with her to see what her schedule is, what she has to do for prep work for that before we make a decision.
Okay.
Everybody check their calendars and make sure send in
So
what
I'm gonna-
work best for you.
I'm going to tentatively plan for Monday the 10th at 4:30.
Put that as tentative, and then
I can tell you right now that would work with me.
Okay. Mark that down. Right. Tim, you have anything?
No, that date works for me too. Either I'm flexible, but that works for me.
Yeah, the next meeting also will be held here, because we're still working on the forecast.
Okay.
Correct.
So, just congratulations to our retirees. I just hope you enjoy it. You deserve it. Appreciate all your service. I know you guys being community members, you know what it takes, and we're just so glad you were part of it. So thank you. All right, we'll move into public participation. Anybody have anything they want to address the board? Okay, we'll move into the regular agenda items. I'll turn it back over to Mr. Calderon.
And at this point, we understand it's summer and people who have been on or don't prefer to stay, you're free to go and do non-assault.
Yeah, you don't have to sit through the board meeting.
But we do appreciate you being here, but want to give you that out if you wanted, so.
Thank you so
All
much.
right, absolutely. Okay, as we look at the agenda, typical, as you see on the agenda, the first thing we want to do is have the board approve the minutes from the June 6th regular board meeting, June 8th, should have left the readers on, and the special board meeting on June 24th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gibson, second by Mrs. Shutt. Any discussion? Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Gibson,
Yes.
Mrs. Shutt,
Yes.
Mr. Hamlin.
Yes.
Mr. Sewell.
Yes, motion carries 4-0.
Next item on the agenda is a recommendation the board approve the June financial report as presented by the treasurer.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Shutt, second by Mr. Gibson. Any discussion?
So as Mr. Calderon said, about in the middle of that is a document that I've titled Forecast Data Entry, and it's just our monthly spend every month. So it's full now because it's July through June, and last number on the bottom right is basically our net revenue over expenditures of 216,000. So
Thank you. Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mrs. Shutt,
Yes.
Mr. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Gamlin,
Yes.
Mr. Soul.
Yes, motion carries 4-0.
Next item on the agenda is a recommendation the board approve the membership in the Ohio Coalition of Equity and Adequacy of School Funding for fiscal 27 and authorize payment of membership dues as identified herein. The annual membership is $50 or 50 cents a student for $470, $450, and then the vouchers heard Ohio is $1.50 a student for $1423.50 for a total of $1898. This is down slightly because our enrollment is down from last year.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Mr. Gibson, second by Mr. Gamble. Any discussion? Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Gamlin,
Yes.
Mrs. Shutt,
Can we discuss the vouchers for Ohio? Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure. Vouchers Heard Ohio is an organization that is born out of this Ohio Equity and Adequacy for School Funding. This is also the group. It's basically a special interest group for the public schools in Ohio that sued the state back in the 90s for adequate funding, and it created the landmark case where the Supreme Court said you can't over-rely on property taxes for school funding. It was known as the DeRolf decision. That was 1997. So as vouchers have expanded, Ohio Equity and Adequacy Coalition took up the same effort, considering that the legislature was not keen to listening to requests about vouchers. They took up the same effort to sue the state on vouchers, saying that they are unconstitutional according to Ohio's Constitution, Article 6, Section 2. And so this effort has been ongoing for, I think, 3, maybe 4 years now. Last June, maybe it was May, the Franklin County judge ruled in favor on, I don't know all the accounts, I can get you the literature, but I think on 3 of the 5 counts ruled in favor of the VHO effort to say vouchers are unconstitutional. And so now that decision has been appealed, and just recently, I think it was in April, that appeal was heard before a 3-judge appeals court in the state of Ohio. Don't know when they're going to issue the final verdict, if you will, on that, but regardless of what happens with that appeals decision, it's going to probably be appealed. If VHO wins, the state's going to appeal it, and if the state wins, then VHO is going to appeal it to the Ohio Supreme Court. So very similar effort to get a court ruling on the legality of vouchers, just like we did on school funding and the foundation program. That's what the effort is.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Treasurer, please call the roll.
So, before I got Gibson and Gamlin, Mrs. Shutt,
Oh,
Yes.
Mr. Soul.
yes, motion carries 4-0.
Next item on the agenda is a recommendation that the board approve the fiscal 27 contract with the Trumbull ESC for public relations and communication support for $15,290.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Mr. Gibson, second by Mr. Gamble. Any discussion? Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Gamlin,
Yes.
Mrs. Shutt,
Yes.
Mr. Soul.
Yes, motion carries 4-0.
Next item is a recommendation that the board approve the memorandum of understanding with Cadence Care to provide school social work services for the 26-27 school year.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Mrs. Shutt, second by Mr. Gamble. Any discussion?
There's no increase to this cost. It's been the same cost for the last 3 years. a lot of these costs for Cadence are offset by Medicaid billing, because there's a big subsidy that they get, because a lot of our students, they also service outside the district, so they're able to offer us competitive and fair pricing.
Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mrs. Shutt?
Yes.
Mr. Gamlin?
Yes.
Mr. Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Soul?
Yes, motion carries 4-0.
Next item on the agenda is a recommendation that the Board of Education approve the 26-27 online day learning plan. This is an annual thing that we do.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Shutt, second by Mr. Gibson. Any discussion?
This is the plan that basically says that we run out of calamity days, you have to start making them up. The first 3 days are made up online.
Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mrs. Shutt?
Yes.
Mr. Gibson? Mr. Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Gamlin?
Yes.
Mr. Soul?
Yes, motion carries 4-0.
Next item on the agenda is a recommendation that the board approve the FMLA leave request of Brittany Jones, certified staff member, effective August 27th through October 19th of 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gamlin, second by Mrs. Shutt. Any discussion? Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Gamlin?
Yes.
Mrs. Shutt?
Yes.
Mr. Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Soul?
Yes, motion carries 4-0.
Next item on the agenda is a recommendation that the board approve the employment of Kim Pearson as a third grade teacher at LaBrae Intermediate School on a one-year limited contract effective with this school year in accordance with Article 8 of the negotiated agreement with the LaBrae Teachers Association effective 2026 through 2029.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Shutt, second by Mr. Gibson. Any discussion? Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mrs. Shutt?
Yes.
Mr. Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Gamlin?
Yes.
Mr. Soul?
Yes, motion carries 4-0.
Next item on the agenda is a recommendation that the Board of Education approve the employment of Reese Tomko as a fifth grade teacher at LaBrae Intermediate School on a one-year limited contract effective with the 26-27 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gamlin, second by Mrs. Shutt. Any discussion?
We have Reese in attendance this evening. Reese, if you would stand up so the board can put a face with a name.
Welcome.
Hi. Welcome.
Nice to meet you guys.
Too.
Reese did her student teaching at Bascom and then did a long-term sub for one of our teachers who was out in the late winter, early spring. Then also did some substitute teaching for the remainder of the year for us in various classrooms. And so she's had an opportunity to prove herself in our district all of last year. I know that she comes well recommended by her cooperating teacher as well as her clinical teacher from Cuyahoga Falls. I can tell you that I'm confident that she's going to bring a compassionate heart that our elementary students need, as well as a passion for learning. So we're glad to have Reese on board.
Welcome.
Thank you. Still got votes. Yep. Yeah. Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Gamlin?
Yes.
Mrs. Shutt?
Yes.
Mr. Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Soul?
Yes, motion carries 4-0.
Now welcome.
Now welcome.
Really?
Next item on the agenda is a recommendation the Board of Education approve the employment of Maggie McKernan as a school counselor for grades K to 5 on a one-year limited contract effective with the 26-27 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gamlin, second by Mr. Gibson. Any discussion? Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Gamlin?
Yes.
Mr. Gibson?
Yes.
Mrs. Shutt?
Yes.
Mr. Soul?
Yes, motion carries 4-0.
One of the things I would say, Maggie's in attendance with us as well, so Maggie, if you'll please stand, is that Maggie did was it a full year, Gerard? Right? Yeah, so she did a full year of internship with Girard City Schools in the intermediate building. And I can tell you again, I think she's one of the individuals that will have a compassionate heart for kids, which we so dire need in public education today. You know, so many people go into education, and sometimes I've worked with people like this. You wonder if they even like kids. So when you find people that have a heart for kids, it's like they're in the right profession. So we're glad to have that with Maggie, and I can tell you her supervisor at the intermediate school at Girard talked about her ability that when she wasn't there, because she had to miss, take care of some aging parents, things went off without a hitch. So great initiative, great effort, great creativity. And, my thing is, hey, do we have a counselor in Maggie that's going to be a partner with our principals? Because we don't need someone that's going to be needing handheld. And she assured me, great initiative, you won't regret hiring her. So that sealed the deal for me when it came to making a determination between her and our other finalists. And we're glad to bring her on board, and we welcome you to LaBrae.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Next item on the agenda is a recommendation that the board approve the employment of Melissa Rutherford as the library aide at Bascom Elementary on a one-year limited contract effective with the 26-27 school year.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Mrs. Shutt, second by Mr. Gamblin. Any discussion?
Melissa also is in attendance tonight, so many of you might know her or have seen her around. She's been admirably working for us as a title aide, a tutor at Bascom since, I believe, 2022, right?
2022, I was the firm sub, and then
Yep.
2023, I was hired.
Okay, so right around that time, I knew you did some subbing, and so it's always wonderful when you're able to take people that have been in the proving ground and in the trenches with you, and there's opportunities for them that are the right fit. And we think Melissa is that right fit, brings some energy, some creativity, excitement, a love of kids, and her track record for the last 3-4 years at Bascom speaks to that. So again, a community member who has a heart for our community, and that's always appreciated as well. So we're glad to have Melissa on board. So thank you. Roll call.
Yeah.
Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mrs. Shutt,
Yes.
Mr. Gamblin.
Yes.
Mr. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Sol.
Yes, motion carries 4-0. Welcome.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Next item on the agenda is a recommendation that the Board of Education approve the employment of Angela Bodonic as a substitute bus driver for the 26-27 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gamblin, second by Mrs. Shutt. Any discussion? Appreciate everybody stepping in. Always in a need for bus drivers.
Especially trips.
Mr. Trips. Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Gamblin.
Yes.
Mrs. Shutt.
Yes.
Mr. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Sol.
Yes, motion carries 4-0.
Next item on the agenda is a recommendation that the board approve the employment of the following head coach for the 26-27 school year. That individual is Chad Kaiser for varsity girls golf.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gamblin, second by Mrs. Shutt. Any discussion?
Mr. Kaiser has done this for, I think, 3 years now, so we're appreciative of the fact that he wants to continue coaching our girls golf team. He's a good golf player himself, so he knows how to provide some instruction to those girls.
I saw them practicing the other day. They look pretty good.
Good.
Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Gamblin.
Yes.
Mrs. Shutt.
Yes.
Mr. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Sol.
Yes, motion carries 4-0.
Next item on the agenda is a recommendation that the board approve the following athletic supplementals for the 26-27 school year. You see the list before you from hiring Mrs. Kish for our volleyball physical fitness as well as the basketball physical fitness coaches for boys and girls.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gibson, second by Mrs. Shutt. Any discussion? Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Gibson,
Yes.
Mrs. Shutt.
Yes.
Mr. Gamblin.
Yes.
Mr. Sol.
Yes, motion carries 4-0.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is a recommendation that the board approve the employment of the following staff members on academic supplementals for the 26-27 school year. And you can see those teachers, always great to have our current staff members who are with the kids during the day to make those additional connections with them. So you can see the list there for high school envirothon, middle school, and then the assistant coach for speech and debate, and then Mrs. Wilthu with the Viking Interact Club at the middle school.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Mrs. Shutt, second by Mr. Gammon. Any discussion? Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mrs. Shutt.
Yes.
Mr. Gamblin.
Yes.
Mr. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Sol.
Yes, motion carries 4-0.
Next item on the agenda is a recommendation that the board approve the following resolution declaring transportation to be impractical for the following students and for the following reasons. I'm not going to bore you with the details of that because everybody can read that lengthy resolution as for the reasons, but we will, with your approval, provide a copy of this resolution to the state of Ohio so they understand that we are declaring it impractical to transport these 3 students to St. Rose Catholic School. And then we will offer them transportation in lieu of, which I think next year is about $637 per student. So, but this is standard procedure for us. We've done this for a number of years with this family.
But that cost is also, like, prorated based on the student's attendance.
Right.
So that's the maximum you can get, but if they only go 103 days, they'll get $500 for it.
Motion?
So moved?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gamble, second by Mr. Gibson. Any discussion? Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Gamble,
Yes.
Mr. Gibson,
Yes.
Mrs. Shutt,
Yes.
Mr. Soul.
Yes, motion carries 4-0.
Next item on the agenda is a recommendation for the board to approve myself, Anthony Calderon, as the lead mentor at 2.25% of the base salary of the teacher salary schedule to serve as the lead mentor for the 26-27 school year. Being that no teachers have applied for that, I'll continue to serve in that capacity.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Shutt, second by Mr. Gibson. Any discussion? Appreciate you stepping in. Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mrs. Shutt,
Yes.
Mr. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Gamble,
Yes.
Mr. Soul.
Yes, motion carries 4-0.
Next item on the agenda is a recommendation that the board approve the following substitute rates for fiscal 27, effective August 31st, 2026. So correct that fiscal year on there, please. And this is for all of the hourly classified positions, it's the 50-cent raise. For the substitute teacher rate, it's a $5 raise. So this will be effective August 31st.
So moved?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gamble, second by Mrs. Shutt. Any discussion?
Yeah, we did not do anything to these rates last year except for the sub-teacher rate. But being that Ohio keeps raising the minimum wage in January, I think they raised it to $11. I don't like when that gap starts closing and makes us more towards the bottom. So for us to remain competitive with some of the other districts, we need to adjust it ever so slightly, at least every other year. We are above the minimum wage.
Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Gamble,
Yes.
Mrs. Shutt,
Yes.
Mr. Gibson,
Abstain because of conflict.
Mr. Soul.
Yes, motion passes 3 yeas, 1 abstention.
Next item is a recommendation the board approve a loyalty incentive, increasing the substitute teacher per diem rate for the 26-27 school year to $130 on an individual's 26th day of service at LaBrae. This loyalty incentive shall remain in effect through June 30th of 2027.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Shutt, second by Mr. Gibson. Any discussion? Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mrs. Shutt,
Yes.
Mr. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Gamble,
Yes.
Mr. Soul.
Yes, motion carries 4-0.
Next item on the agenda is a recommendation the board approve the student fee schedule for the 26-27 school year. A copy has been provided to you.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gibson, second by Mrs. Shutt. Any discussion?
There were some adjustment in the band fees, but marching band adjusted according to their pricing. But remember, all of our instructional fees, we did away with a couple of years ago when we saw the reevaluation occur, and we used that extra property tax revenue to eliminate those costs and offset them. So it was a way when we saw community members and parents whose property taxes were going up to say, let's make this more like a free, appropriate public education by reducing their cost of going to school. And so that's how we use some of those additional revenues, is to eliminate instructional fees.
Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Gibson,
Yes.
Mrs. Shutt,
Yes.
Mr. Gamble,
Yes.
Mr. Soul.
Yes, motion carries 4-0.
Next item on the agenda is a recommendation that the board adopt the following handbooks for the 26-27 school year. And you can see the list before you. It also includes the athletic handbook, So what I'm going to do is once you get the discussion, I'll let Mr. Wolford, our new athletic director, make a few comments about the focus areas and changes in the handbook for the athletic department.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Mrs. Shutt, second by Mr. Gamble. Any discussion? Mr. Wolford?
Just very quickly, I wanted to, again, thank you all for the opportunity to be the new athletic director. One of the first jobs Mr. Starkey gave me was to revise the handbook. When I went through it, I had ideas for 20-odd changes, but quickly decided that maybe it would be a good idea to work with some of our coaches and to work with some of our programs for a little while before we make some wholesale changes. There were a few changes that I wanted to make, and I gave Mr. Calderon a handout here just so you're aware of what you're voting on. Three new sections and then 2 areas of focus that I've been going over with our site managers and our people who are working the games. First, we put in a quick reference guide at the very beginning. If you're going to the athletic handbook and all you're looking for is something on eligibility or attendance or something like that, it'll be right at the beginning. You can find it very quickly. You don't have to sort through the 20-odd pages of the handbook. We put in 2 sections that deal with some of the expectations of our spectators, kind of a code of conduct for them and some potential consequences if they violate that code of conduct. We did have probably 2 incidents last year during basketball season that this tool would have been helpful to address that. And then, as I said, with our site managers and the people who are actually working the games, selling tickets, managing the games, our areas of focus are going to be how our parents get to voice their concerns about some of the things that are going on, either practice or games, some of their frustrations with coaches, or some of their thoughts about what's going on. And then reinforcing this idea of the athletic chain of command, that they go to the head coach, they come to me, then they go to Mr. Starkey in that order, and then we follow the guidelines that are already in the handbook. Other than these changes, we didn't make any changes to the handbook. I want to sit down with the athletic council during the season a few times and go over some potential changes, and like I said, kind of live with it for a year or so as I'm new in the position, and then move forward from there. So,
Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
yeah.
Any questions for John? Okay. Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mrs. Shutt,
Yes.
Mr. Gamblin,
Yes.
Mr. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Soul.
Yes, motion carries 4-0.
Next item on the agenda is a recommendation the board approve Great Lakes Biomedical as the student drug testing vendor for the 26-27 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gamlin, second by Mr. Gibson. Any discussion? These are the same people who've been doing it, I think, since we started.
As we start,
Yeah. Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Gamblin,
Yes.
Mr. Gibson,
Yes.
Mrs. Shutt,
Yes.
Mr. Soul.
Yes, motion carries 4-0.
and the next item is a recommendation the board approve the employment of substitute teachers and tutors as needed from the list provided from the Trumbull ESC for the 26-27 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gamlin, second by Mrs. Shutt. Any discussion?
So remember, this is a list that the ESC does all the vetting, and they put them on a list and share with our secretaries and our building administration so that when they need subs, they can call from that list. We approve it once, but every month the ESC board is adding people to the list and removing people, so they approve it monthly. We just have one blanket resolution to be able to pull off that list and be in compliance without us having to go back every month and hire subs.
Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Gamblin,
Yes.
Mrs. Shutt,
Yes.
Mr. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Soul.
Yes, motion carries 4-0.
That's it.
No, got one more.
Oh, donation, sorry.
Your
Last
glass.
page. Jumping ahead of myself. All right. So the last one is a recommendation the board acknowledge and accept the following donations. And you can see we have a donation. It's a memoriam for Mr. Ganster. And then we also have a donation to the Frank Hillman Scholarship. So again, the treasurer's office will take care of the letters of gratitude. We need you to acknowledge and accept those donations.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Shutt, second by Mr. Gibson. Any discussion? We appreciate all the donations for anybody from our community. It always helps. Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mrs. Shutt,
Yes.
Mr. Gibson,
Yes.
Mr. Gamblin,
Yes.
Mr. Singh.
Yes, motion carries 4-0. I don't think anybody brought up anything for executive session. Just a quick reminder, Mr. Calderon's going to check with Mrs. Ott about what they have planned to make sure, and we'll tentatively go with the 4:30, and I'll notify Karen, see if she's got any issues with it.
So you need 4:30 meeting and then go right out to the band shelter?
Yeah.
Is there any particular thing we have to prepare for out there?
Hopefully it doesn't rain.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully there's no rain.
Stand under the
I
band
mean,
shelter.
we don't have to like play an instrument or anything.
No.
No.
We do
We
not.
adjourn the meeting, then go out there, or would that be like part of the meeting since we're still
Oh.
together?
I
I
don't
think the
think,
meeting's over.
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
We'd have to
then
adjourn.
would we need the help of our technical director and photographer?
Well, we'll
We're gonna
probably have,
contact
I
the
know the Tribune, because we're the first band night
Yeah.
of the county, so always, that's kind of a tradition.
Oh.
We always usually have Mr. Copeland from the Tribune here, so I know he'll be here to capture that.
But since we're all together, we don't need to have it recorded.
I don't think so.
Not for that. That's
I
not
would-
Not
part
that
of
it
the
would be
meeting.
fun.
Yeah, it's separate from the meetings.
Yeah.
I would like to see like WKBN, WYTV be invited, surely as good buddies
Yeah.
with Stan Boney.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, we can definitely get a press
Yeah.
release out and let them know that we're gonna do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay,
That's what
Whether
we'll
they
have to
choose to
confirm
show
the
up,
time.
yeah.
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 Yep.
Just pray that it doesn't rain.
Hey, but we'll have shelter if it
Yeah, we
does.
can also.
Actually, maybe it should rain.
Yeah.
All right.
We can show how useful it is.
I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gamlin, second by Mrs. Shutt. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you
Appreciate
all
y'all
for
coming.
coming.